Have you already realized this? That you could have the perfect life and still suffer deeply. How is that possible? How can I have all the money that I want? I have the relationships that I want. I have everything is cool. And it doesn't even have to be a completely perfect life on paper. It just everything is cool. Like there is nothing dangerous in my life. Uh, I have stability. I have security. I have people who I can talk to. Yet I'm still deeply suffering. How is that possible? Well, there are a few reasons why this could be an experience for someone. And the first one is that desires they pull us in different directions all the time. So we might have a desire, let's say, to have even more. We may have a fear also to of losing what we already have. So we're constantly in a fear mode. We are worrying about losing what we already have. And also at the same time, we want more. So desires are pulling us in that direction. And there could be different reasons, also karmic things, like if it has been divinely ordained that you suffer, you will suffer and you cannot avoid it. But why is God like some anti-humanist? No. um, Suffering, there is something very special about suffering. And the thing that is so special about suffering is that it breaks the ego. It destroys illusion on a deep level. You cannot suffer for an extended period of time and not awaken to your true inner self, because the more you suffer, the more you realize that there is nothing you can hold on to. There is nothing you can hold on to. And the more you try to hold on to things, be it some identity that you have, some identification with things, or your personality, or a relationship, the more you try to hold on to whatever it may be, the more you suffer. So you learn to let go. And that's the paradox. When you let go, then something shifts. You come into a surrender state, and then the suffering lessens. It's not that it disappears completely, but it lessens, because if it's karmic thing that you need to experience, if you need to suffer through this experience, there is nothing you can do to change it. So the best thing in that case is just to let it be. Let it be. If you're supposed to suffer, you will suffer and you cannot stop it. So let it be. And that's hard to do because we want to feel good. We want to feel at peace. We want to feel calm. We want to experience life with more joy. That's a natural desire that all of us have. But then you realize that even those experiences, they're temporary, they're very relative, they're not permanent, which means that they always change, they always shift. So you may feel at peace right now, but 1 hour later you may be like in a completely different state. And that is not something you can control. That is not something you can control. So when you have the so-called perfect life on paper, you see that it doesn't matter how perfect your external life is. If you don't work internally, so to say, uh, there is no meaning to anything. Yes, it's nice to have security, sure, a place to sleep. These are all basic survival things that we need to have. But if you're like uh, chasing even more than that, you're bound to realize, like Jim Carrey said, I want everyone to get everything they have ever wanted in this world so that they can realize that it doesn't bring you anything. It doesn't do you any good. So yes, you could have the perfect life, but yes, you may still suffer. So what's the solution? Let's get into the solution. What's the solution? The solution is deep acceptance of the human experience. If you deeply accept that you're in a human form right now and you're going to go through different experiences on the scale, like you could have peace, like small level of peace, but then you can have a bigger level of peace, higher level of peace, or something in between. Or you can have like worry a little, but you can also worry a lot. So if you deeply accept that this is purely humanness and you cannot avoid that, then you come into a state of surrender. And that is the only solution for suffering I have found so far in my life. And I've watched and I've read a lot of books and videos and everything about spiritual teachings. And all I can tell you is that what's true for me is the more I try to when I truly surrender, which happens by itself when you clearly see that there is nothing you can hold on to in this life. Doesn't matter, you cannot hold on to anything. Everything is changing. So if it's always shifting, if you try to hold on to something, it will shift, so you will suffer because you're holding on. Or as the Buddha said, like attachment is the root of all suffering. I think that's what he said, but it's so true because everything is shifting, everything is changing. Like this tree behind me, it was not always like that. It was just a seed at the first place, and then it's always shifting. It's either growing or it's either dying. So it never remains the way it is. Now, to the physical eyes, it may seem so, but on a structural level, it's always changing. So that's the same about everything else that you see in this reality. Everything is constantly changing. So if you hold on, you're going to suffer. So okay, so what do we do? Do we just surrender and don't do nothing? No, you still participate in the show of life. You still play your part in everything. But you also deeply remember that there is nothing you can hold on to. And once you truly realize that, you automatically surrender. And then um, it's not that pain and suffering will disappear completely because they're part of the human experience. God made it like that. You see, so you cannot bypass these things. Um, it's just that the degree of the suffering lessens. Like there is some acceptance there of the suffering. You accept that you will suffer, you will feel pain, you will feel all the things that you don't want to feel. If you truly and deeply accept that, then even if you're experiencing those things, there is no, the mind is not there to make it worse. The self-talk is not there. Why am I suffering? Why am I going through this? When is this going to end? I cannot stand this anymore. Like this self-talk just takes a back seat somewhere. And then over time, it's just no longer there. And that's what makes the suffering even worse. It's the mind, because the mind asks always questions and wants to think all the time. But the mind is not an enemy. That's its job. Your job is to transcend the mind by not giving it your attention, not engaging in the thinking that it wants you to do. Let it do the thinking, let it do whatever it wants to do, but you return back as awareness. You don't give your thoughts so much attention. You let them be. It's the same for feelings. When you feel something that you don't want to feel, like don't give it more attention than it needs. Like, just let it be and accept that you will feel different emotions. You will go through different things and you cannot avoid that. Doesn't matter who you are, how spiritually enlightened you are in a human form, and there will be some humanness to you. You cannot transcend the humanness. You can transcend it once you leave the body, sure, but as long as you're in the body, you will have something very human about you. There will be some limitations, shortcomings, that eventually you realize how powerless you are over certain things, certain limitations and shortcomings that you have. It's like it doesn't matter how hard you try, there is things that you cannot overcome. You could devote your entire life to trying to overcome them and still not get anywhere, because it's not the destiny that you overcome them. It's the destiny you chose to experience them. And why did you choose them? Why would I choose to suffer? Well, we cannot understand it right now. We can speculate and guess, but all I can tell you is that the true self, which you are in essence, cannot get hurt. This bee, man, leave me alone. What a bee. So, uh, oh, it's not a bee. It's something else. Yeah, whatever. Um, we can speculate and guess why would we choose to suffer, but the true self that you are is not suffering, which means that the moment you leave this body, you will realize that you didn't really suffer. You were just in that game of life, and the human character that you were experiencing was suffering, but who you are was not suffering. So nothing can really hurt you. Nothing can really do any damage to who you truly are. So, and it's a nice experience. It's a nice experience with all the variety of experiences. It's just life is rich. Life is rich of experiences, and you cannot avoid that, and you will experience a lot of things. So don't try to stop it. Don't try to resist it. Don't try to get rid of experiences. Just experience them. Go through them, even though they're sometimes painful and you don't want to go through them. Realize that that's the destiny. You need to go through them. And it doesn't matter how good your life becomes on an external level, if you don't find that inner safe place, if you don't find that place which is undisturbed within you, which is basically your own beingness that has no thoughts, no feelings, if you don't discover that and you don't use that as a safe place, then yeah, you will drive yourself crazy. Like, the mind will drive you crazy, and all the things that happen in your life, constantly changing, challenges, obstacles, people, situations, if that's all your focus, you're going to suffer deeply. You're going to suffer deeply, especially if you're watching videos like this. If you're on this path, you will suffer deeply, because your job is not to deal so much with external things. Yes, you need to take care of certain things in your human life, sure, but your job is to discover the eternal within you. If videos like these are what you feel drawn to, yes, you are here for a reason, and that reason is to discover the eternal within you and learn to live as that. Still, this doesn't mean you will not experience certain things. You will have your humanness, but there is a safe place that you can go into and rest as that presence, rest as that beingness that you are. And this just transforms everything, because you're not so much concerned about getting your life to perfection, because you realize that it doesn't matter how perfect your life is, you still may suffer because of different reasons. So when it comes to desires and fears, what can you do about it? Like, if you have a desire to do something, disclaimer, not harmful things, like not to harm someone or yourself, but if it's some desire, like let's say you want to start a business, which is a desire that I had my entire life since I was a child, and I had to start multiple businesses that actually failed, all of them, but I couldn't do something different. The desire wouldn't leave me alone. It just, I had to do it, and I thought it was because of the gaining of money, let's say the earning potential of the money you can make in a business. But then I realized that there was something deeper happening, which was that I needed to experience it because the desire was in me, so I can get free of it. And now I don't like dealing with any numbers or analyzing things. It's not here anymore, because I did everything in my ability to make it happen. I put all my heart and soul and everything into my businesses, and they failed and they kept failing. And I thought there was something wrong with me. Like, I have the skills, I have the knowledge, but somehow I don't know why, like, it just doesn't want to work. And then I realized that that was the experience that I needed to go through, so I can get free of that desire and I can live my life more peacefully. Now, it's not that I don't do things anymore. I still, to some level, have that entrepreneurial spirit in me, but it's not like the way it was. Like, I had to do it. Now, it's like I do whatever I'm doing, like these videos and so, because I feel guided to do it. But if you would ask me why I did the businesses, it's because of the same reason. I felt guided to do it. The life force was moving me in that direction. And I had to learn a lesson of detachment. I had to learn to not be so attached to the outcomes and do things because I feel guided and called to do them without concerning myself so much with the results. And that's what I try to do with this channel. It's like I put my message out there, and whoever needs to receive it will receive it, and that's what I do. So yeah, um, let's summarize and close the video because it's already 18 minutes. Um, yes, you can have everything you ever wanted and still be miserable as hell. You can still be very miserable. Why? Because true contentment and happiness does not depend on external things. There are homeless people who are more content than those who have everything on paper. Why? Because they've discovered that um, true contentment and peace has nothing to do with external things. And the way you come to realize this is by trying to get everything externally first, and then realizing that it doesn't do you anything. It doesn't bring you anything. And then you start looking for something deeper within you. And then we could say the spiritual awakening journey has been initiated. And you may have heard everything I've already said many times somewhere else, but it's you need to go through the experiences so that you can come to a place of surrender. Like, watching videos can be useful because it removes the wrong thinking, the the things that society has conditioned us with. So these videos will like remove some of that conditioning, like thinking you need to chase more and attain more, when it's all about letting go. This life is all about letting go and learning to flow through life. And flowing through life is not anything mystical. It's a natural thing that happens when you surrender, when you let go of the desire to hold on to things. You automatically surrender, and then you automatically flow. And there is no effort in that. It's just whatever is happening, and you're moving with it without offering it resistance, without trying to change it. Of course, some situation you can change them, sure. If you can do that, do so. But other situations you cannot change, so you need to learn to move with them. But also change, when you're in a state of surrender, change happens automatically. It just flows through you as you, and you start to change things that you were supposed to change. And the things that you were not supposed to change, you cannot change anyway. So yeah, nothing external will satisfy that thing within you. And also, something very important, last thing to say before the end of this video, is that you need to focus on if you're on this path, you need to focus on your connection to the source, on your connection to the divine, because nothing can satisfy that thing. The divine has made us in such a way so that if we do not seek it, there is always some hole within us that we cannot feel. We cannot fill it up, because it's only the divine that can fill that up. So work on that connection to your source, which is basically your deeper self. You can call it God, you can call it awareness, you can call it the universe, whatever word you want to use. Just focus on that and do your best to not get so attached by external things, because they always shift, they always change, nothing remains the same. And if that's your security, if your security, I cannot end this video, what's going on? If your security is based on external things, yeah, you will not have true security. True security and stability is found only within. And once you realize this for yourself, by first trying to get everything else externally, yeah, then something profound happens. It's like your attention shifts inside, not because you're trying to in the previous stages. I'm trying to do the inner work so hard. No, you realize that nothing here can give you anything. You focus internally because that's the only thing left to do for you. But you need to go through the process. You cannot skip it. So yeah. So yeah, that's it for today. I started a blog actually on my website. You can check it out, because I have a lot of energy and the life force is moving me to also write. So I started the blog on my website, which I call the journal, where I share things like in this video, but in a written form. It's kind of different because you can recollect your thoughts. It's not that spontaneous. There is still spontaneity in it, but yeah, check it out if you're interested, if you like to read. You can check it out. Link is down in the description. There is a single link that leads to all other links, and when you click on it, it will lead you to then to click on the website and blog, and you can check it out. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.